friends, new and old, welcome to Freedom Homestead. I'm Tangie, and today we're in the kitchen as part of a collaboration. The name of it I absolutely love, called Savor the Scraps. And I was invited to be part of this collaboration from Miss Katie over at Heritage Ways. And I was really excited when she asked me. You guys know that I love me some leftovers, and I have been known to do a leftover makeover meal or two around here. So if you are new here, let me tell you just a little bit about myself. I'm Tangie, like I said. How y'all doing? We're a family of four. I was gonna say 2 adults, 2 teenagers, but actually my daughter is practically an adult and my son eats as much as an adult. So we're just gonna say 4 adults. And we try to live frugally. We try to grow as much of our own food as we can. One of the ways that we try to watch our grocery budget is we try to eat up as much of our food and not let anything go to waste. And for a lot of people, that's a challenge because they don't like leftovers, or someone in their family doesn't like leftovers. Thankfully, mine does. But sometimes we run into a situation where maybe there's not enough leftovers for everybody to have some, or maybe we've had it like 2 nights in a row and our stomach is like, oh, I don't know if I can eat this again. And so it just needs a little bit of finessing. So the Savor the Scraps collaboration is that in mind. It's showing you that you can take leftovers from a previous meal and give it a whole new look and taste, and something that your family will enjoy. So I'm really excited because today I actually have, this is leftover angel hair pasta. Some of it's kind of stuck together, but I'm gonna pull it apart. And I have not been able to make this in a long time because here lately it's very rare that I have leftovers because my 14-year-old son is going through a crazy growth spurt and he's eating everything. But I made more pasta than I had sauce. So we ate all the sauce, and then this pasta has just been sitting in the refrigerator for the last couple of days. And so I'm going to make for you guys clean out the fridge lo mein. We love Chinese food, Asian food. And so yeah, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna take this, what was spaghetti, we're gonna make this into lo mein. So let's get cooking. So the first thing we need to do is make our sauce. In a jar, I'm going to put in about 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. To that, I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of liquid aminos or soy sauce, whichever you have. Now I'm going to add some powdered ginger. You can use fresh if you have it, but I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of ginger. If you have fresh minced garlic, definitely use that. Ours is not ready to harvest yet, so I'm just using granulated garlic, and I'm again adding about 1 teaspoon. I'm adding a dash of ground white pepper. Use black pepper if you have it, it's no big deal, just a dash. For a little bit of heat, I'm gonna add a couple of teaspoons of sriracha. If you don't have sriracha or if you don't like it, you can add red pepper flakes, or if you don't want any heat, don't add any of it at all. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of sesame oil. And I'm going to add about 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of fish sauce. Put a lid on your jar and shake it until it's well combined and set aside. So the reason why this is called clean out the fridge lo mein is because you are literally going through your refrigerator and finding whatever you have that needs to be used up to add to your lo mein. So here I have some cabbage that I needed to use up. I also have a Ziploc bag of onion that we had used on hamburgers a few days ago. Still had some rings of onion, and then we also had some carrots and cauliflower and cucumbers from a vegetable tray that we had, and we just threw everything in a Ziploc bag. So yeah, this is perfect if you have some bags of frozen vegetables in your freezer and there's not really enough to make a side. You can just add it all to this and it'll be perfect. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to slice our meat. I'm going to be using about 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm cleaning it up a little bit, and then I'm going to slice it really thin. We're talking like 1/8 of an inch. And if it helps, go ahead and stick it in the freezer for a few minutes. Let the chicken get nice and firm, and it'll make it a lot easier to slice. So I just cut the chicken in half lengthwise, and then I'm slicing across the grain to make sure I get really nice tender cuts. And if you're wondering about all the soda bottles that are on the counter, I'm actually saving those to use in the garden, which I might do a video on that later. Once you've got all of your chicken sliced, you're going to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch to your chicken, and you're going to let that marinate. Now, this is a step you do not want to skip. I don't know what it is about cornstarch, but it does something incredible to the chicken. It makes it so tender and juicy. I don't know what it is, but it's incredible. After the chicken has sat for a few minutes, we're going to add about a half a cup or so of our sauce that we made, giving it another good shake, pouring it over, then mixing it, and then we're going to set it aside and let that hang out while we start cooking our vegetables. My sweet friend over at 1870s Homestead sent me this beautiful Lodge cast iron pot. I absolutely love it. She sent it to me for my birthday. Thank you so much, Rachel. This is the third time we have used it in the last 3 days. So I just turned the heat on to about medium high, and I'm going to, I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of avocado oil. Just use whatever your favorite oil is that you have that you can use over high heat. When your oil is ready, go ahead and add your vegetables. I'm using the onions, the carrots, and the cabbage, and cooking this over kind of high heat. You kind of want to stir fry it. Once this is cooked for probably about 5 minutes or so, you're going to take it off the heat and set it aside. Like I said, you're stir frying it. It's not going to be cooked to tender. It's just going to be kind of al dente. I return my pot back to the heat and add a couple of more tablespoons of avocado oil. Then I add my chicken, and again, we're going to stir fry this. You're going to cook it for, it doesn't really take that long, probably about another 5 minutes or so. You definitely want to make sure that your chicken is done. But I'm telling you guys, this chicken is so tender. Once your chicken is done, you're going to return your vegetables back to the pot along with the sauce and the noodles. You absolutely don't have to add this stuff, but I'm going to add some white sesame seeds just for color and a little bit of crunch. I like the texture. Okay, and if you have some green onions, this would be perfect with green onions. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm gonna give this a taste test. I already know it's good. There's the lo mein. It was a couple of days ago. This was spaghetti Italian with pasta sauce and beef. And tonight, it's lo mein. So look at this chicken. You know how when you go to the Chinese restaurant and their chicken is so tender and juicy and silky? Something about the way it's marinated in that cornstarch, that's how you get that kind of chicken. It's so good. Okay, friends, I hope that you know if you ever find yourself with some leftover pasta, this is a really, really great way to use it up. Even if your family doesn't like leftovers, they'll never know the difference. It was spaghetti one day and it's lo mein the next. So don't forget to check out the other participants in this collaboration. It's going on for the whole month of May. Have all of that information in the description box below. Be sure to check out Cosmopolitan Cornbread, Heritage Ways, and the farm on Route 66 Family Homestead. Shh, my dogs are playing and they're being loud. If you guys enjoyed this recipe, and until next time, remember to be vigilant, be prayerful, and be prepared. Bye, guys.